Alright, so we're looking at target 5B. Told you guys I was going to make you a quick key for how to work through this. So we're dealing with polynomials and just a bunch of algebra on polynomials and division and whatnot. So the first problem, you're just looking at taking a polynomial in factored form and putting it into standard form. So I got to multiply x plus 3 and x minus 2, and you end up with, well, I'm going to go x times x minus 2 plus 3 times x minus 2. So I'm just going to go yellow times blue. So I did the x times x minus 2, and then the 3 plus 3 times x minus 2. So I can work through that real quick. So you got x squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 6. Combine like terms, you get x squared plus x minus 6. So you still have to take that now and multiply it by this guy, x plus 6. So I'm going to take the x in x plus 6 and the 6 in x plus 6. And we're going to multiply them both by x squared plus x minus 6. X squared plus x minus 6. Go through that multiplication, combine like terms. X cubed plus x squared minus 6x plus 6x squared plus 6x minus 36. Okay, I got 1x cubed. Looks like. As far as my x squareds go, that makes 7 of them. As far as my x's go, I got minus 6 plus 6, that's 0. And then minus 36. So minus 36. So if you put that function in standard form, you get x squared plus 7x minus 36. I'm going to check my answer real quick. Alright, so I checked my answer real quick, and we were good. You got to do it again. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is this minus 5 and the x minus 2. So that gives me a minus 5x plus 10. Multiply that and 3x minus 5. So I got a minus 5x and a plus 10. 3x minus 5. 3x minus 5. So you got negative 15x squared plus 10x plus 30x minus 50. 15x squared plus, wow, that should have been plus 25x, 5 times 5, plus 25x. So 15x squared, and that was a negative, plus 55x minus 50. So we got to take that guy and still multiply it by 2x plus 7. 2x plus 7. Alright, so you got the 2x. You get 15x squared plus 55x minus 50. Then you got your plus 7. Negative 15x squared plus 55x minus 50. Okay, so I'll just hit pause real quick. I'll multiply these out, combine like terms, and I'll show you the right answer. Okay, so went ahead and did that, and this is what you get for your final answer. That is g of x in standard form. So if you expand it, there's g of x. Okay, next problem. Write the following function as a product of linear factors, given that x minus 7 is a factor. So we know that x minus 7 goes in there. We just need to know what's left. Oops. When we divide it in, x cubed minus 8x squared plus x plus 42. So a little polynomial along division. So x into x cubed, that's x squared. So x cubed minus 7x squared. So we're subtracting x cubed minus x cubed. 0, negative 8x squared, take away negative 7x squared is just negative 1x squared. Subtracting a negative is adding a positive. Plus x plus 42. So x into negative x squared, that'll be a minus x. So minus x squared plus 7x. So 0x minus 7x is minus 6x. So that'll be a minus 6 times x is minus 6x. Minus 6 times minus 7 is 42. So your remainder is 0. Obviously it should be, if it's a factor, when you divide it in, its remainder should be 0. So your first step is you've now said, hey, by the way, h of x equals x minus 7 times x squared minus x minus 6. So you got to factor this guy now. So that one factors 2. So you can go back and review factoring, quadratic. But that one is going to factor 2. Well, this number's a 1. So you got factors of negative 6 to add to negative 1. So negative 3 and 2. So there you go. H of x is written as a product of linear factors. Look at each of these. If you looked at them on their own, they're like the equation of a line. Right? They're linear factors. Okay, moving on. Okay, so you got another one. I give you the factor, and I say write it as a product of linear factors. So we know we have 5x cubed plus 13x squared minus 169x minus 105. And we know that 5x plus 3 goes into it evenly. We just don't know what it is. So this is going to be x squared, 5x cubed, plus 3x squared. So that'll be 10x squared, minus 169x, minus 105. 5x times what is 10x squared? That would be 2x. 10x squared. 2x times 3 is plus 6x. So you got minus 175x minus 105. 5 times 5 into 175. We know it's going to be a negative 175. 5. What's 3 is 15. 25. So 35 times. So minus 175x minus 35 times 3 is minus 105. Subtract them up, you get a remainder of 0. So we've now written j of x as 5x plus 3 times x squared plus 2x minus 35. Minus 35, trying to write fast. So you can factor that quadratic now. So you got 5x plus 3, and that quadratic factors to x plus 7, x minus 5. So you've rewritten j of x as a product of linear factors. Verify that 6 is 0. I like this problem, because I'm a math nerd. Well, if 6 is a 0, that would mean that j of 6 would equal 0. So that's a good way to verify it, I think. So 4 times 6 cubed minus 34 times 6 squared plus 54 times 6 plus 38. If that is 0, then we have found a factor. So I'm walking over, grabbing my calculator, and let's see if it's 0. So 4 times 6 to the third minus 34 times 6 to the second plus 54 times 6 plus 38 is 2. It is not a factor. Not a factor. The other way to verify it, well, if 6 is a 0, then x minus 6 is a factor of 4x cubed minus 34x squared plus 54x plus 38. So if 6 is a 0, x minus 6 is a factor. If x minus 6 is a factor, then it will divide in evenly. So we'll try that. So this will be a 4x squared, 4x cubed, minus 24x squared. Subtracting a negative is adding a positive. So it would be negative 10x squared plus 54x plus 38. So as I do this long division, I expect to get a remainder. So because we already verified that it was not a factor, because it didn't produce 0. So this would be minus 10x squared plus 60x. So 54 minus 60, negative 6x plus 38. So that would be a minus 6 minus 6x plus 36. Oh, check that out. You got a remainder of 2. What was the value of your function when you plugged 6 in? 2. So that's not a coincidence there. So yeah, we verified 2 different ways that it's not a factor. If 6 is a 0, x minus 6 will be a factor. Verify that 6x minus 10 is a factor. Well, here's the other way, right? If 6x minus 10 is a factor, okay, 6x, what makes 6x minus 10 0? 6x equals 10, x equals 10 sixths, which is 5/3. If 6x minus 10 is a factor, then h of 5/3 will be equal to 0. Question. So you could just plug it in, 5/3. And I noticed when I did it on my scientific calculator, it produced something kind of funky. The calculator was trying to tell me that it was 0, but it was using scientific notation, and I could tell the calculator was rounding somewhere along the way. So I got an answer of, well, I guess I'll show you what my answer was. So 6 times 5/3 to the third plus 50 times 5/3 to the second minus 142 times 5/3 plus 70. My calculator goes, actually it equals 1e negative 11. That's 1 times 10 to the negative 11, which means take this decimal and 1 and move it that way 11 times. So you're going to add 10 zeros. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how much is that? Well, that's basically 0. How do I know that it is 0? Well, I can verify it through long division. So that's kind of a funky one. You'd really expect your calculator just to tell you that the exact answer was 0. So let's say you're unsure. Okay, another way to verify that it's a factor is through long division. So 6x minus 10 divided into 6x cubed plus 50x squared minus 142x plus 70. So x squared, 6x cubed minus 10x squared. Subtracting a negative is adding a positive. 60x squared minus 142x plus 70. 6x, 60x squared, that's going to be a 10x. 60x squared minus 100x. Subtracting a negative is adding a positive. 40, negative 42x plus 70. 6x into 42x, that's minus 7. So minus 42x plus 70. Remainder 0. We have verified that it's a factor, because when you do polynomial division, you divide it in, you get a remainder of 0. Next question. Oh, there was definitely a backside to your... Oh, that was it. So, we did it.